Hello everyone, it's Jasmine, your brow expert. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your brow expert. I still shape eyebrows at the Anastasia Beverly Hills Salon. I still love shaping brows. Some of you guys have trusted me and allowed me to shape your brows and giving you some tips. So please stop by if you're in the neighborhood. And yeah, so this model that I'm shaping eyebrows for and doing some amazing makeup on today, she's a rock star to me because she's always coming in with a big smile on her face. She likes her brows to be fuller and darker than probably most of you guys would wear it, but I know you're going to get some tips out of the brows that I do for her, and you're going to see a little bit of brow shaping, so maybe you'll pick some tips off of there as well. Stick with me throughout the whole video. This helps me. Definitely subscribe if you guys haven't already. And so yeah, let's create a dark waterproof eyebrow that's going to last her all day. So let's get into it. So as I said, she's a rock star. I mean, she comes in with this bleach blonde hair with just a really big smile in the face. So she's a little edgy looking. So I thought this look would be perfect for her. So like I said, if you don't relate with her, if you think that this color is too dark for you, you can always go a little lighter, but the tips are great. I know you'll get something out of it. So with this eyebrow, she doesn't look like she needs any brow shaping, but I did wax her eyebrows. So what I did, because her brows are much lighter without all this lighting, if you look at her in person, you see the brows, but it's so light. So how do you shape light eyebrows like this? I use a dip brow gel to fill in her eyebrows first before I actually wax her eyebrows. It's kind of easy for me to see, and this is something easy for you guys to do, or a good tip, is to color in the eyebrows. If you have a tinted brow gel or a dip brow gel like this, put a generous amount on your eyebrows, coat it as much as you can, and then you can start seeing hairs that you may not need in and around the eyebrow area. That's a good time to maybe shape your eyebrows. So there's a tip for you. I'm applying a generous amount because I'm going to wax around the eyebrows. She really likes it nice and clean with all the fuzz off of her eyebrows, and there's going to be some on the top that she likes to clean as well. So speaking of clean, this helps me to clean her eyebrows by seeing where her brows are and just waxing the areas that I don't think she needs, right? So this just gives it a nice clean look. Also at the top, she has a lot of fuzz at the top, so she likes that cleaned up as well. So the wax is just perfect for this, and look at the shape of her eyebrows. Pretty good, right? But we are going to remove all this right here. Voila, it's all removed. So, and I'm going to put some back on, so stick with me on that one. I'm using a highlighter up above and below the eyebrows, because if you guys have fair skin like hers, you don't even need fair skin. You could have a skin color like mine, but just you want it fuller. This is a really good first step to do, just to apply a nice coat of even a concealer if you find yourself on the drier side, or maybe a foundation you like. I'm going to use a highlighter, a lighter one that I used on her, so you guys can see how much of a difference it can make. Just applying it underneath the eyebrows and even above. How cool is this? You guys could already see. Hey, you're like probably thinking her brows are darker. When you use the highlighter, it really does highlight the eyebrows so much better, and it just acts as a nice border. I'm not going to blend it in too much because I want you to see what a difference that makes, right? So I'm going to use a couple of things. I'm going to freeze her eyebrows, kind of like a brow gel, but it has like a pasty consistency. And this is going to what makes her brows fuller. So by having the border around there, it's really going to allow me to be a bit more I don't know, generous with the products without worrying so much how messy it's going to get. But you're still going to get back to that. We can't all be perfect, right? Okay, so I'm using the brow freeze. You don't need that much, you guys. Just a tiny little bit just goes a long way. I'm using the spatula that we do sell along with the brow freeze, but you can use the back of a spoolie brush. It doesn't really matter, but all you need is a tiny bit. She probably needs even less than that I'm showing you. I'm just grabbing a tiny bit on myself. So again, you don't need much, just a tiny bit right here. See that? I could probably even use less than this. This goes a long way, you guys. And I'm also going to use my hand to warm it up. So I put it on the back of my hand and just paste it back down before I put it right on the eyebrows. I'm showing it on here, but just back and forth, just so that I get enough on here. And now I'm just lightly coating. Now on me, you're not going to see that much. I do have some hair, trust me. But on her, obviously you're going to see the effect that it gives, right? Just paste it right on the hair and then just kick up the hair. See, you can see, oh, you can see hair on me right there. So I'm kicking it up, not straight up, but just enough to where you can see the hair. And then you can bend the edges down to go lay down a little bit more of an angle. And so I just kind of spoolie it up. I paste it, and then I spoolie it up. So you go back and forth just so that you can get the product perfectly on there. You can even use your finger to just paste the hair against the skin. Now, look at this. You could already see by my hair standing up, by her hair standing up, it's so much fuller. And that's what I was going after, just the hair going straight up to add that fullness. And again, you can just stick it against the skin to make the hair stay up a little bit. But you can angle it because for me, I don't like it straight up. I like more of an angle. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to stick it up so that way you can see that I do have hair. So now it's already nice and full, but I'm going to use the dip brow gel again. This time, I'm just going to apply a small amount. I'm not going to go too heavy like I did initially. That I went very generous because, again, I just wanted to fill in it in there to wax the eyebrows. Here, I'm actually using a very light pressure. Make sure you have a clean spoolie brush on hand because once you use the dip brow gel, it can get kind of messy. But look at that. Even on myself, it's getting nice and dark. Be very generous towards the middle to the end of the eyebrow. Now, I'm just using the tip of the spoolie brush, but so that way I get a little bit inside towards the end there. But look at that. It's already coming to life. It's getting nice and dark. But you know what? It's actually not too crazy and dark. So as you can see, I'm just placing it right over here. Now on me, it's kind of getting dark. But that's fine because I want you to see the difference it makes. As I get to the middle to the end, if you have hair all the way towards the tail, use the tip only and just drag it sideways and up. So that way you're getting a little bit more color there. And really that's all you need to add that depth. You can use a lighter color on the dip brow gel like I said earlier. But look at on her, such a nice difference, right? And don't be afraid to go back and forth and use the... Oh, first of all, definitely use the spoolie brush, a clean one, because it gets a little, like I said, messy and it can clump. So I like to just kind of go back and forth and just lightly clean up any clumps. And then you can just make sure you press the hair. And I mean, you can see from this side to this side a big difference, right? So I'm just spreading out the color and then making sure that the brush 18, see, even on the model, I'm going back and forth, just making sure that the color is distributed. But when I do that, it does get a little messy. So that's why I have this trusted brush to just clean off any edges. And I'm using a pencil. Now, if you guys find that you don't have an even distributed hair throughout, you can always go back and forth and just kind of add some color in some areas that are missing, right? Like missing some hair. So you got a gap. Pencils are really good for just getting in there, especially when you're using this full kind of coverage with the dip brow gel and some of the other makeup. But you don't want it so much with the pencil, but just always have one on hand to get in those little areas if you need to go back to it. So again, I just like to go back with the brush and just really blend everything out and make it nice and clean because it's really all about finishing the finished product, right? And I find that using the brush to get all the little messiness around just gives that nice, clean, finished look right here. You guys are going to see the before and after in just a second, but this is all. Actually, I kind of like this on myself too. I haven't done something like this in a while, but if you take these little steps, if you do this dip brow gel and some color, you guys, it'll last you all day. You won't have to worry about it. Look at the before and after. Now, I can use a lighter color, like I can use probably like a taupe. I don't want to use anything like a warm tone brown because it's going to get too red. And she doesn't want that. She wants it more ashier tone. So that's why I've chosen this color. But you know what? Taupe will work fine. It'll just be a darker version of her hair. So maybe that's for you. But just know that the steps really count. If you freeze your eyebrows, I don't use the brow gel because that can dry up a little too quick. With the brow freeze, you can actually work with it for a bit so it doesn't dry as fast. And look at that. The hair is just combed up and it just stays that way until you wash it off. So I hope you got something out of this. Please let me know if this tip was fun for you and that you can use it. And definitely pass this along with anyone that you know can use this tip. Definitely subscribe because that helps me. And you guys sticking through this video helps me as well. And lastly, comments helps me to do better videos. And if I can answer any questions, I will try to do so. Thank you for your time. I will see you guys right back here.